Hello and welcome to the B Button episode 13, and I'll be honest with you, I'm your host Baron Marf. I am hanging out my ass. Woo! Yeah! And joining me on a slightly more sober level today is my compadre in arms, Angry Link. How you doing, buddy?
Feeling better that I did go out last night.
Yeah?
Yeah, looking at the state of you this morning.
Fucking rougher than a badger's ass. I am hanging. In fact, to be totally honest, I think probably about no more than 30 seconds ago, I sounded like this. But now I'm all good, and I'm full of energy because we're doing our podcast. Yeah, loving it. So, gaming for the week. Any at all?
No, I was really looking forward to getting into some Division this week.
You've like taken the more high ground on this and been like, I'm not doing this. You need to better yourselves as people.
Yeah, basically. So I've done absolutely fuck all gaming on my Xbox this week. Just mainly been pissing about on silly phone games and puzzle games on my phone.
Anything in particular?
There's a really cool little game that I found called Atomas. And it's all sort of... I don't know if you've seen any of the ones where you got sort of combine numbers to get it up to as high number as possible. But it's basically a very similar principle as that, but with atoms. And the periodic table. Fair
enough. Right, well that sounds very educated and something that I'd probably sit there going, what the fuck is unobtainium?
Yeah. I can't remember what I was watching some shows over there and they were talking about. Oh no, it was watching some No Man's Sky stuff and they were chatting to Sean Murray. They were talking about obviously the periodic table that they're using in that. They've used some of our actual periodic table, and they've made some stuff up. And then obviously the guy who's hosting it is like, just hopefully you've come up with better names than unobtainium.
Literally, you ruined the whole movie for me.
I was in stitches when that come up. I was just like, it's one of those, and you're like, we're really struggling for a really sciencey name.
Yeah.
Unobtainium?
Yeah.
Yes, fuck it. That
literally the rarest element in the galaxy. Unobtainium. Fuck you guys. Literally ruined. That's a great movie. Ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Cool. Me, I've been not been taking the moral high ground, and I've been on the Division. So
you didn't have your characters deleted then?
No. I went on there, and it was still just about in one piece. And yeah, so I spent a lot of my time just watching people break the game, but a little bit more about that later on.
Yes.
Cool. Well, we're going to have to bust straight into Bullet Bill's Big 3, I think.
Yeah, we best get on with it, really, aren't we?
Yeah, because frankly, I don't know how long we're going to last. Looks a little faded from the night before. Boom, ba-boom, ba-ba-boom, boom, boom. It's Bullet Bill's Big 3, people. Yeah. And for our first bullet hole of the week, what we got, Link?
Another little bit of a rumour, sort of slash leak.
I'm super excited about this.
Well,
super excited.
Obviously, we've seen this week some pictures of the Red Dead Redemption sequel map. Yeah. Again, these are leaks, so how much of it's true is obviously, as is always the case, taken with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But I mean, we know that they're going to be working on it because old Strauss Zelnick, the Take-Two boss, has obviously stated previously that Red Dead is one of their sort of stable core franchises that's not going to be some annualised property.
Fucking ought to be. It made them a shed load of money and was a great game.
But then if you look at how Assassin's Creed has sort of faded and how every iteration each year has just got slightly worse.
When you say faded, it started as an average game and then was just
filled with more average games.
Yeah, just beaten to death over a course of years.
I think if they'd have sort of like done with that and locked it down a bit and maybe once every 2 years, then they could have put a bit more effort into making them stand out a bit more. But anyway, we
digress.
They've someone's leaked it via Reddit. Obviously, it's been taken down, I think, since, but it being the internet, it's been reposted hundreds and hundreds of times. most of the sort of gaming publications and websites have sort of run with the story. It seems to be a fairly well received rumour and sort of quite trusted sources.
Man, honestly, Red Dead Redemption was just brilliant, and you know, I'm not going to spoil the storyline for anybody who hasn't played it, but phenomenal bit of storyline, great twist at the end.
Yeah,
just
really
fantastic
really
game.
solid game. It's one of those, again, great sort of Rockstar games that you can just lose hours and hours in. You can basically spend like the first 40 hours playing that and not even really doing anything.
Yeah.
Like not progressing anything, just going around, just enjoying yourself and having a bit of fun in the good old West.
An achievement for hog-tying someone, putting them on the tracks.
Oh, I love that
and
one.
getting them run over by a train.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's the little symbol that goes with it, though. It's the sort of the curly moustached guy with the top hat and the cape.
Yeah, genius.
But yeah, apparently it's going to be a prequel to Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
Which I think is a good idea. It's a better idea for me.
What's his name? John Marston. Yeah, get him back in. Yeah.
Well, not necessarily feature Marston, but it's slightly before, because it was obviously it was starting to get towards the 20th century in Red Dead Redemption, wasn't it? So sort of go back a bit further, maybe the creation of the railroads, that kind of era. So I mean, it's clearly coming. We know that.
Phrasing, please.
Obviously, it just hasn't been officially confirmed yet. But Take-Two will be at E3 in a big way this year, so we might hear some info about it then. Obviously, it's probably going to be mainly Mafia 3. Obviously, their annual 2K franchises, and NBA 2K even.
Yeah. Churn them out, boys.
Borderlands might be there, and also, what was it? Was talking about Bioshock, the collection.
Which still hasn't been announced?
No. Obviously, I think it's been on about 15 different ratings boards now, like USB boards. Man. But it's one of those. We'll sort of have to wait. It's a couple of months till E3.
I mean, the one thing we do know is that if people are only just leaking a map now, we are ages away from Red Dead Redemption 2.
Not necessarily. It's one of those.
We are, though. I mean,
I can't see it being any closer than 2018.
Well, put it this way. How long do we eat up GTA for before it actually gets released?
Well, it was 2.5 years when it was announced before release, but obviously that was after 2 delays. So it was a year after the initial sort of tentative release date. But I mean, it is one of those. I think it's Rockstar have sort of always been fairly secretive with their stuff. They don't tend to go to the big trade shows. So I'd be surprised if we saw anything from Red Dead at E3. We might hear about it, but we won't see anything.
Well, hopefully it won't be too long until we're back doing the old Mexican standoff.
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, yeah, it looks good. It's looking good that it's actually out and real and going to be being made. We'll probably know when something's dropping, because they'll reduce it on Xbox 360, because it always tends to, whenever they need to drum up some sort of traction for something, they just release the old game cheaper.
That file is still sat on my Xbox One, taking up room, unplayable.
Waiting.
Yeah, can't wait. Cool, so moving on to our second bullet hole for this week, it's the Spanish developer Mercury Steam, famed for their Lord of the Shadows Castlevania remakes or reimaginings, I don't know how you really want to put it, but either way, they've got a new IP, they're doing something new, so everybody was kind of hoping that they were going to be doing Contra. That's what we've all been waiting for. We heard news that they were working with Konami again, and we're thinking, ooh, it's Contra. But it isn't. It's called Raiders of the Broken Planet. So, apparently it's a multiplayer online asymmetric adventure.
Which, again, is pretty much every game is now.
Yeah, generic holding comments. In fact, they were really generic in most of their comments. They said it's shooting combined with brawling and a thinking man's strategy. Just really open, generic, kind of amorphous statements.
As opposed to strategy that you don't think about.
That's right, yeah.
So isn't that just blindly running in?
Yeah, I don't think it's called strategy at that point.
No.
Yeah. So, apparently you have to fight for control of a substance called ELF.
Right.
I'm not sure. Which is a powerful ability-enhancing substance.
Right. So that's going to cause some balancing issues.
Yeah,
I can claim that. I'm claiming that one straight away.
They literally just could not have given us less information, but they just went, hey, we're working on some stuff, and there's shooting and people.
Here's a picture.
You got to collect stuff. Yeah. But
that's all we've seen as well, isn't it, in terms visually?
Yeah.
It's just that one picture of that guy with looks like a robotic arm, and he's chewing a cigar.
Yeah.
Jumping, looking like he's about to punch someone in the face.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. Lots of people bitch to moan about the Castlevania Lord of Shadow games. I really enjoyed them.
I think that's the thing, though, with Castlevania. It's always going to be a very difficult one for anyone to come in and do well with it.
Yeah, and it was a reimagining of a beloved, fan-favoured, method. Well, the famous, Metroidvania style.
I mean, how much of that sort of element was still there?
No.
In the same way that Dead Space 1 was so far removed from Dead Space 3.
No. I mean, it was literally like a completely different game. It was God of War. Yeah, basically.
I can see why there was some problems.
Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. They were hardcore games, but they were hardcore if you didn't use the mechanics that they gave you to their full effect. So if you weren't using the countering system, for example, you were going to get fucked. Yeah. But if you used it properly, then actually they were really, really solid.
Yeah. So. Looking forward to it, or just looking forward to seeing something of it?
I'm actually really looking forward to finding out something tangible about it other than its name.
Yeah.
Raiders of the Broken Planet.
Yeah, it sounds like they've just almost just gone for taken Hollywood film titles, put them into a sort of a jambalaya, and just had a little dip in with the spoon and sees what popped out.
I more feel like it's like a printing press, and they've just thrown stuff into the mix and gone, there's your next one, whammy, fresh IP. We're not going to sell a lot of copies, but we are going to do it anyway.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it turns out well, and looking forward to hearing a bit more about it. Hopefully we see something at E3.
Well, I'm really hoping that the Mercury Steam Spanish, how shall I say it, PR guy learns that he needs to tell us a little bit more than just generic holding comments.
Yeah, it's not really. It's one of those, isn't it? It's shock horror game developers making game.
It's a multiplayer asymmetric online shooter / brawler. Yeah. Anyway, enough of this. Link, what we got for our third bullet hole?
Speaking of new games being released, we have had a trailer for the new Ghostbusters game.
Oh god, wait, now can I just wade in right here? Is this a fucking movie tie-in?
Kind of, but not.
Okay.
So it's going to piggyback off of the, again, air quotes, popularity of the new Ghostbusters movie.
Oh god.
Which I feel really bad for the people involved, because they're going to get an awful lot of hate through no reason or fault of their own.
Well, no, it is their fault, because they're choosing to take the wage to do that job.
True, but again, it's one of those, like, here you go, here's X amount of pounds, go and become hated by the entire internet.
It's like...
What would your price be?
It's like when you watch famous people doing like makeup adverts and stuff like that, and you just think, fuck you.
How the mighty have fallen.
Your career's on the floor, isn't it? And people are just taking advantage, kicking you whilst you're down. So, okay, who's doing it?
My favourite developer, the cash grabbers of all time.
Oh god,
good old Craptivision, or Activision to probably their proper
Cash Division. They're back again. They are literally just like, hey, there's some money to be made over there. Get them, boys.
Basically, yeah, it seems that way, because from what details we've got, I mean, it was just a crappy 30-second teaser, basically, just to say that it's coming out. Here's some basic gameplay footage. There's like 15 seconds of gameplay, which you don't really get to see anything.
God, this thing's been developed for about 3 months. And
it seems that it's probably a prototype that was kicking about somewhere and said, fuck it, stick Ghostbusters on it.
Put a title screen on it.
Yeah. So it's releasing in July the 12th. It's 3 days before the movie, so you can get all hyped up for the movie. It's coming out for Xbox One, PS4 and PC. It's going to be, from what I can glean, it's a standard twin-stick shooter.
Right.
It's going to be 4-player co-op. Well, I've seen 4 players on there, so I'm assuming it's 4-player co-op.
It fucking needs to be. That's like the core premise of Ghostbusters. Yeah. 4 people.
There's stylised cartoon graphics, which we know everyone loves. But there are no licensed characters, obviously, because, Activision and money.
Yeah. Only goes one way.
Yeah, they don't like spending it unless it's coming back as billions, really, do they?
Yeah.
So, I mean... I'm kind of excited because it's Ghostbusters and I've been wanting to play a Ghostbusters game for ages, but spend the money and get the old boys back. I'm sorry, but there are going to be no other Ghostbusters other than Venkman, Igor, Ray, and Winston.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that the movie's copied the exact same fucking formula with, oh, there's the token black working class blue collar worker.
Yeah.
It's like, just change up the formula a bit.
Honestly, I need to say this. I know this isn't really on point, but I don't want a Ghostbusters movie with 4 women.
Doesn't need to be rebooted.
I'm quite happy if. I mean, it would be great if you could get the original cast back, but I understand.
And they can have Igor as a ghost. Oh, how good would that? Obviously, Harold Ramis has died.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah. But how good would that be? Having Igor as a ghost,
or just
that would be amazing.
What, as in like
how meta would that be? The Ghostbuster,
as in like Star Wars style.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just
It's like one with the Force.
Stood in the background next to the fire, just waving at people. Hey, great work, buddy.
It's like no, don't push it, don't push it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, let's wrap this bad boy up. I think we're going to have to bust over to our beef, which you're a little bit beefy this week.
Yeah, I'm really pissed off. I'm quite annoyed. A few things, obviously, but I think we'll leave it for the break.
You seem chomping at the bit here, folks. Cool. Well, let's do this. Let's whisk our way over. Okay, so here we are in our What's the Beef Chief. It's actually not me who's as vexed and ratty this week. It's Link.
Well, obviously, as I told you earlier on the introduction, that I've not played my Xbox at all this week. I was really looking forward to the Incursion update. Obviously, just the broader strokes of what it included, with obviously the challenges.
This is on the Division, yeah?
On the Division, yeah. Sorry. So obviously, there was a few other bits and bobs that I could tackle on my own. Because obviously I haven't touched the fucking Dark Zone at all, really. Barely finished the game, just got characters up to level 30, and I thought, yeah, new update, new gear sets, brilliant, good stuff. So I downloaded the patch, and then obviously, luckily I've had a little look online first, because, yeah, it's kind of broken it. Like, literally every facet of the game's broken.
So, I mean, the scariest one, so the way that I see it is there's a few elements here which is sort of pissing you off, because there's the bits which are like you just haven't thought about what you're doing, and there's bits where actually you're completely fucking people who spent a lot of time building their character. Yeah.
Well, there's the first one, for the unfortunate one for Xbox players or Xbox One players. Some characters or some players have had their characters deleted.
Wow.
Or that they won't load. Which obviously that's the main bulk of the reason why I haven't put it on.
That's mammoth, isn't it? That whole sort of. I mean, you can have things such as our servers are down, you can't load into the game, whatever.
Or a bit of gear fucks something, like because they had the high end gear glitch, didn't they? Which would lock out people from their characters. But that one for me is a fucking killer. I mean, Massive have come out this week or later of the week and said, oh, we're working on it, we're going through, and you will get them back because it's all cloud-based, and they're sort of going back, finding past iterations of it. So anything sort of after April the 12th, if you've managed to get on and do anything, but it's still fucking it about, then it will revert back to pre-April the 12th.
Yeah, so you lose all your...
What progress you've made since. Yeah. Obviously, the daily missions and the challenges, some of them have not started, some of them are fucked, some of them just leave in a persistent loop, loading loop.
Yeah, I mean, I went to do the Incursion with a group of guys, and every time... So it loads you just in front of the little level bit where it says what difficulty and all this sort of stuff. And as soon as I walked through it, it just reloaded me back there again. I was like, okay, fine. Then I walked through it again, reloaded me.
How many times did you go through it before you thought, fuck you?
I think I did about 6 times, and I was like, screw you guys, I'm going home.
I'm going to go and play Hitman.
Yeah, basically.
So there's been some exploits from the Incursion.
Yeah, there has. Yeah.
To the point that like you can spam through walls and none of the NPCs know you're there, so you're just standing in the open, just taking shots.
Well, the NPCs don't... Not that I would encourage people to do things like this, but I may have accidentally done it. And, so the NPCs don't attack you. You can't attack them. You can very, 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 very slowly chip away damage on the boss.
Yeah. But
Cheese
again,
it.
it's one of those. It's you can just stand there and just like keep shooting at the old thingy remote grenades,
Sticky bombs,
and just spend 45 minutes hammering the shit out of it,
Yeah.
as opposed to 45 minutes of hammering your head against the wall.
Calling out to you, Kia.
Obviously, I mean, I wasn't too impressed with the incursion either. I mean, it's a glorified horde mode.
It's really basic, basic. You go down a tunnel, you fight a few guys, and like, okay, cool, and then it's just in a room with lots of enemies.
Yeah. Grenaders and a fucking APC.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, they set the difficulty rock hard on that. Like, hard is fucking hard.
Yeah.
And challenging is
seriously. Are you Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get the rates are supposed to be like that, but
it's one of those. It's making it difficult for the sake of making it difficult. It's not using sort of clever design mechanics, or it's not being smart about it. It's just fuck it. It's just throw waves and waves of enemies that get harder and harder, and just more of them.
And all you got to do is just have one unlucky little moment, straight back to the beginning.
Yeah, and there's no. I can understand that they've done it in such a way that there is no checkpoints and all of that, but at least do sort of like you've got to the 7th wave, because it's 15 waves basically, isn't it?
That's right.
And you get halfway through it. Okay, you've got halfway through it. Now here comes the real challenge, and it starts you halfway through. I think there needs to be something along the lines of that, because, I mean, even if it's a case of normal and hard, there's no difference apart from no checkpoints in hard. That's the way you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Have it so people can still, because you've got all of these gear sets that people are going to want to spend, and it's just. It seems that it's done in such a way that it's made it overly difficult just to elongate the time.
Yeah, and if you look at what they've done with all the division tech, and how all the pricing that they've put on stuff now.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I mean, I'm looking at a gun that I wanted. It was like better part of 300k in Dark Zone funds. You kill someone, you get like 120. It's like, I'm not being. That's a crazy amount. And how much do you have to play just to get one item?
Yeah.
That is not how you make a game exist for a period of time, is it?
Which then obviously brings me to my next point. Obviously, the Dark Zone's broken because of it. Because obviously everyone's exploited this in the Falcon Lost incursion. They've spammed all of them, exploited all of the gear sets. So their gear rating and gear ranking, obviously much like Division's light level, Destiny's light level. It's just obviously how it all works once you get to the end game. They're ridiculously high, and there's no possible way that you can go, because you've got teams of people in the Dark Zone that just go around just killing the fuck out of everyone.
So in Destiny, when you get different level players, you choose to go to an area where you choose to fight different level players or not.
Yeah,
you can either there's like the Iron Banner, which is where you are choosing to get into a fight with people who potentially are tougher than you, or you play the PvP where it balances stuff. So
everything's at a set level. There's no buffs from your gear.
Yeah, where I think on the Division, the Dark Zone really does reflect what's going on in the game and how well the game's being managed at that period of time, because there has just been an influx of rogue agents, people going rogue, just rinsing you for your stuff, because everything's being dropped now is high end. So all the previous coloured items, greens, blues, purples, are completely redundant. You won't even bother picking them up.
No.
And anybody with a backpack now is basically a target, because they're carrying high end stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've said it for a long time. The gains and the losses don't balance for me. For what you gain to going into the Dark Zone, you need to go in there to get the best gear. Obviously, with the crafting, where they've nerfed that, it takes infinitely longer to get the resources together.
Nerfed the crafting. They've also pushed the Dark Zone levels up as well for you to be able to get stuff. So 70, literally the day before the patch, I was caning it to get to level 50, and managed to get to level 50 the day before. Sorry, not the patch, the update happened. Following day, update, now everything's level 75 or level 90, and I was like, for fuck's sake, I've literally just got. I mean, I know that's my problem because I'm the person who's been choosing to play it that much to get there at that point, but still, it's like, come on now, come on.
It's just moving the goalposts. It's not done in a clever way. It's not, oh, let's put newer gear or more gear in there to then encourage you to get it. It's just, oh, we're going to move the goalposts again.
Yeah.
And then obviously we found out that there's exploits within the dark zone that people can spam out of the dark zone, but still interact with it.
Yeah.
So you can't even fucking see them. You can't get anywhere near them. You can't shoot at them, but they can shoot at you and kill you. And then
top north east part of the map, people are putting shields down, taking out they put the mobile cover down, then taking out the ballistic shield. So they're putting the cover right by the wall and standing behind it, and then putting out the shield, and it sort of pushes you, buffs you back through the wall. People are going out, walking around the top part of the map, and just shooting into the dark zone. Yeah. So,
I mean, there's just so many things that this patch has basically fucked. There's no really nice way, or I can't think of a cleverer way of saying it.
So, I mean, does this raise a question of what sort of testing's being done at all?
It just seems that it's just been thrown out into the world and have at it, basically.
Yeah.
Show us where we've gone wrong.
Yeah.
But it completely fucks the whole economy of the game and the whole reason for me to play it.
It's going to take a while for it to even out again, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's well, obviously they've hotfixed the incursion this week. I think was it yesterday or Thursday?
Friday night, I think it was.
Oh, Friday night, yeah. So they've hotfixed the incursion exploit, but somebody will find another one.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't understand why Ubisoft or any of these companies that release these patches, right, you're one of our keenest Division players, let's say. Here's an email code. We'd like you to test the new patch. Here's an NDA. By downloading it, you agree to the terms that you cannot disclose any of this information. You cannot stream it. Okay, no problems. 10,000 people can stress test it, and 10,000 people, one of those people will try and find some exploits.
I think what pissed me off about this exploit thing is the fact that they came out with a statement on their Twitter basically saying that people who are using the exploit will basically be punished.
They've not said how or what they're going to do.
Yeah. And I sit there thinking, well, you can't tell people that afterwards. You can't. You have to make that statement at the beginning. And the other thing is you can't punish people for finding the faults in your game if you haven't designed it robustly to stop people from being able to do this stuff. Of course, they're going to take advantage of it.
Yeah,
it's just a given.
Well, what is essentially a game other than we're manipulating the systems that are available within the game? So all people that are doing the exploits is taking it a step further.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically tying people's hands without actually telling them their hands are tied.
Well, yeah, you're rocking through the door with a stick and going, you know that thing you did last week? I'm going to hit you for it.
Yeah, that you didn't know was actually bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know obviously if you go through the terms of service and all of the legal agreements that there'll be a clause in there that does specifically state such things.
It'd be some generic holding comment like you'll use it in the way that it's supposed to be intended
purpose.
For,
yeah. But it still doesn't stop it ruining it because I've never really been one for exploits. I just can't be bothered because a lot of them take a lot of fucking hassle.
Mm-hmm.
I just like I play games to have a bit of fun. I thought it was going to be a really good sort of multiplayer game. It turns out that it's not really because there's no options really for multiplayer unless everyone's at the same level. I mean, it's getting to the point now that I'm losing a lot of faith with it, that I could quite easily take it back and just go and get something else.
Yeah, I know that old Misi did exactly that.
Yes.
Yeah, but for me, personally, I'm going to keep it for a while. I think they're going to even out. I think it's a game which has got legs. I think it's going to last a while. They're just going through all this teething problems at the moment. But a lot of these issues I look at and I just think, you could have dealt with this. You could have, if you...
What was the original release date? I mean, the fact that it's been delayed so much, that it's things like that annoy me.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that if they'd have busted it out and done like with the Battlefield fiasco, where it's just like, we've released too early, we're working our asses off, we're really sorry, we're honestly working on this, you can kind of understand it because you've got those fuckwits of the shareholders behind them going, you've got to release it's got to go out on this date.
Yeah.
And the higher ups that have got to go out on this release date.
Trying to hit their quarterly figures, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you've got the developers there that are kind of working their asses off and they're caught in the middle of it. That I can understand, and I can, whilst it's frustrating and annoying, I can at least understand and empathise because they're just the poor bastards that have got to do the job.
Yeah.
But this, I'm sorry. I mean, I know it's a free update, but it's essentially broken the product that I've bought. I mean, what other industries do you go and say, oh, here's a car, and then say Mercedes come along and say, oh, we've got something we can put on your car now that's going to make it better. It's going to make it more enjoyable, and it's going to make it a longer lasting product.
Take it in, they break it for you.
And they break it, and then they say, yeah, you just have to drive it around with 3 wheels now.
Yeah, we'll get back to you later.
Yeah. I mean, what other fucking industry does this? It's fucking piss take.
It's still this, for me, it's just the same old thing. You know, we used to be in an industry where people had to test things, get it right, because if it was being released on cartridge or disc, it couldn't be upgraded because people weren't on the internet. It was, what we release is what we have to live and die by.
Yeah.
That was how it worked.
Which I think there's only one company that still operates like that. That's Nintendo. I mean, how many of their games could they have released and just patched later on?
Yeah, but let's be honest, the reason why that is because it would take 4 years to patch anything on the Nintendo's network.
That's true.
Fucking updates. Cool, okay, well let's have a little mish over to our Uncharted territory.
Yeah, I think we need to calm it down and get some good news and some fun stuff going again.
Can't you see what you're doing, Division? Winding him up. Okay, this is like the perfect section for me because I'm in it's not my Uncharted territory voice, it's my hangover voice. Oh god, I need water. I need hydration, man. So, here we are, as always, talking random gaming shit. This is our random bit. And, I think we've got a couple of interesting ones this week, haven't we?
Well, I think it kind of really does fall under the remit of being Uncharted.
Yeah.
Obviously, some open betas this weekend.
Beta baby.
For a couple of big releases. I suppose the Doom one really being the biggest.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really seen a great deal other than a couple of adverts, but the only gameplay I saw was from E3 last year.
And shit cover art.
Well, yeah. I don't pay attention to that.
Well, actually, basing the game on the cover art is pretty fair. I mean, not the game shit in any way, shape or form. It will appeal to a particular type of gamer, and that gamer will be the Unreal Tournament fans. Yeah. It's, you put it on and you look at it and you're like, fuck me, this is like harking back to old school Doom style gaming.
I suppose that's a good thing though, really.
Yeah, I mean it's super basic, like super basic.
Yeah, no aim down sights and all that shit.
No, there is aiming down sight, but it's just like the textures on the map. You know, the fact that there's big boxes of bullets everywhere.
Yeah.
That you walk over. You know. For me, it's definitely a jump around the map with the rocket launcher, sort of, you know, Unreal Tournament style.
So it definitely feels Doom. Like.
Yeah.
So that's good. I think that's really what everyone wants, to be fair. I mean, because if you want a Call of Duty kind of game, but with Doom, then tough shit. Don't buy Doom.
It's weird, because when it loaded up the multiplayer, you get your character in front of you, and it looked very Halo-esque.
Yeah.
Your character looked very, very Master Chiefy.
But I'm saying that though, if you go back to, like you said, the original cover art from the original Doom, and it was always kind of based around that anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, I've got a few questions.
Please.
I've been
pose away
and got ahead. So obviously, I'm assuming it's just the multiplayer beta.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah, pretty much. Some amazing bits about the multiplayer that I really enjoyed was they've put a very dry, almost hello kind of voice to tell you what's going on. So it's like one particular
stuffy British valet.
Yeah. So one particular instance when I was playing it, it got to that bit where there's only, you know, so many kills to win the match, and it was like, there's only 10 kills remaining. At which point I fired a rocket launcher and somebody walked through the door and they just got sprayed all over the wall. And of course everyone can hear you talk, you know, if you're not in a party. And I was like, make that 9. He was pissed, that guy. But yeah. So that's it's actually really funny that they've done that.
It's a good sort of good example of sort of old classic Doom then, really.
Yeah.
How does it play? Obviously you touched on that earlier. It's very much sort of that Quake 3-esque, sort of twitchy, just fast-paced.
Very much so.
Really need a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, I mean, so it is very fast-paced, and one of the things that they put into the mechanic of the game that I was the multiplayer version that I was playing, or the match I was playing, is that a demon sort of emblem will spawn randomly, and if your character runs into it, you become some large skeleton-like dude, which is the one that's on all of the cover art. With twin rocket launchers on the shoulder,
jetpack and all that shit. Yeah.
And just go around blowing the shit out of people. So everyone kind of fights for that. So very OP.
Similar to Battlefront's like hero tokens. So you become another character for a short amount of time.
Yeah. But it's not for a short amount of time, it's for a life bar, and they are rock hard. So if you don't like tag team that motherfucker, you're going to get destroyed.
Yeah. Quality. So it's a bit of a different take on like the multiplayer.
There's a little twist. Yeah, a little twist in there.
Obviously, we touched on this before. Does it feel like a Doom game? Like if you was to harken back to the old classic original John Romero one?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a Doom game without a doubt. And it's not like someone's tried to do not remake, but kind of
reimagining.
Yeah.
Bringing Doom into the 21st century.
Yeah, they've just gone, no, we recognise what you want, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's very Unreal Tournament-y.
Yeah. But again, like I say, that was always based off of the work from Quake and such forth, and obviously, is it id Software or ID Software? I never can tell.
I think it's id.
Yeah. How do the guns stack up? Because that was always one of the good things about Doom, is everything, they all had their own sort of unique features.
So there's kind of like three, like I said, what I played, there was like three sort of setups that you can go with. One's like sniper, one's like assault, one's, they called it kind of, it was like, not a trapper, kind of like catching people by surprise, sort of, like sort of. That's not
like
what they named it.
Sort of kind of character.
Which was based around having like a really average assault rifle and a double-barreled sawn-off shotgun, which was all about blam.
So it's the proper run and gun.
It's
lone wolf.
Follow me through this door, boys. Oh shit, blam.
Yeah. He was hiding in the corner. The sneaky fucker.
Yeah, exactly.
So pretty well then.
Yeah.
Everything's got a good meaty sort of punch to it, and they're all unique. It doesn't feel like it's just generic skin, but the same gun. So the
assault rifle didn't do a great deal for me. It didn't quite have it didn't feel like it had enough not impact, but it just felt a bit distant from it. You didn't really feel like it was, like if you play Halo or something like that, you're like boom, boom, boom.
You've got a classic assault rifle, and it's generally, you can stick with that the whole game and you'll do fine.
Yeah, so it didn't really do it for me. The shotgun's solid. The main one for me though, the one that I spent most of my time, because they give you a fuck ton of ammo, is the rocket launcher. Yeah. Just going around and like.
So it is classic Unreal really then.
Yeah, just spraying people over walls.
So then suppose that leads me to my final question, and does it yank you by the balls? Really? Like the original used to.
It makes me look at it and go, wow, this feels really dated, and I don't want to fucking play it. Sadly. I know there's going to be plenty of people out there who are going to want to play it, and it will definitely float the boat for those people, but the only reason why I'm going to play Doom is for the main game.
Which is, obviously that was the last point. I mean, do you think that they'll capture the sort of essence of Doom with the single player?
If I've got a chainsaw and I go into somebody, then I'll be alright.
I mean, from what I saw from, like you say, the gameplay preview at E3 last year, I mean, it does look very much like original Doom. Obviously, it's not the same pixelated mess that it was when obviously it released back in 92, I think it was, 93.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think if you look at the multiplayer map now, you look at it graphically, you could very easily think it's not even an indie title. It's
something that someone's taken like a 90s game and just sort of modded it to look better.
You got it, yeah.
It's like that CDI Legend of Zelda.
God, that's fucking awful.
You'll never get that. You'll never purge that from your mind now.
Yeah,
I feel bad for showing it to you.
I'll never be able to unlearn that.
Yeah, it's almost as good as I've got a picture of an NX controller.
Yeah, thanks ever so much for that, Link. So during the course of the week, whilst at work, kind of busy at work at the moment as well, got a text come through from Link saying, I'm about to send you a picture of the new NX controller, at which point I think my response was, holy shit balls, like super excited about it. It was a piece of cardboard with NX controller written on it, a mushroom drawn on it, and what looked like an Apple Lightning wire or something.
Just sort of propped and just stuck under the paper, yeah.
Yeah, it was just a single piece of card.
I saw it, I thought, I was just going to send you the picture and just think, what do you reckon of the new controller? But I thought, I'm going to tease you a bit with it and give you a little chance to think that it is actually real.
Yeah, lay me up for it and then take me down. What a cock.
So obviously now I suppose it's a case of we move on to the Battleborn beta.
Yeah, boy.
So I suppose this out of the two would be the one that you'd probably be looking forward to.
So I've been super stoked for Battleborn because I love Borderlands. I'm a huge Borderlands fan. I love the sense of humour in Borderlands. And yeah, it's more of that. So, well, it's supposedly more of that style. So yeah, it's good. It's good. I like it.
So from what I've read, it's obviously Gearbox's move into the MOBA territory, sort of multiplayer online battle arena, where it's obviously two teams that are battling over points in the map. So it's basically like a giant domination game. Basically.
Yeah. So one of the modes which I didn't play on there is to kind of, here's your little fort, build it up and protect it, go get resource and shoot and kill. Yeah. I mostly played like the storyline mission where you sort of team up and path through it.
That's pretty much answered my first question then, because obviously I was just going to ask which parts of the beta have you tried, because it's quite an extensive beta as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's big, and there's probably 8 characters you can play as, which there's a fair few in there, and it's looking pretty polished, actually.
Well, obviously it is due out in May, so obviously I suppose this is like the final server stress tests.
I mean, from the point of view that as a game, it's looking pretty polished. Yeah. It's got a really, really slick feel to it. Nice. Really slick.
But then again, all the Borderlands always were pretty slick games, weren't they? Yeah. There's not really a great deal of issues that came with them.
I think if you looked at Borderlands when they came out, the games themselves were solid. You could see the edges a little bit when it came down to things being a bit pixely and such like. Where this is super slick.
Yeah. Obviously the power, where they're not as bigger worlds as obviously Borderlands and Pandora, and obviously the added power of the PlayStation and Xbox. I suppose obviously has gone a long way.
They've definitely managed to shoehorn in some classic Borderlands humour in there.
I was going to say if they sort of they captured that essence, that the little comedic tone that Borderlands does seem to have.
Yeah, very much so. I went up against a boss which was like a spider bot, and
so the Stephen King textbook of boss making.
Yeah.
Big scary spider monster.
Yeah, and it's funny because they lay it up in that kind of way as well, and then the boss is like, "I'm not called that. I'm called Jeff." So you're fighting Jeff, the large spider monster. He's just Jeff. He doesn't want to be known as a spider monster. He is Jeff. Nice. So it's some great humour in there.
So obviously, is it any good? And does it sort of share a familiarity with Borderlands?
So it does. I mean, I know some people have played it and they've just gone, this feels a bit basic. The thing is, you're pointing through a level and you're levelling up really quickly.
Yeah.
And it's all about how you use your level ups as you go through.
Well, that's kind of the point of it, isn't it? Because it's got that MOBA angle on it. It's not like it's, here's your level up and this is the path you're taking. That's the same obviously it resets at the start of every game, doesn't it? So you can... One playthrough, you can try going this way on your skill tree, but then you think, I didn't really get on with that. I can try it, and you can keep changing up with the same character. Obviously, it offers a lot of replayability.
Yeah, and what? At first, I was like, man, I just want to keep my character. I want to keep my bonuses, and I want to be leveling up and sort of making my character rock hard by grinding the shit out of some enemies. But I was okay with it actually, and because you level up so quickly, it's almost like, oh cool, I'm going to put that bonus on, or
I'll try this one out this time, see how that one works out.
Yeah, exactly that.
And obviously with was it a roster of 25 characters, I mean there's an awful lot of variety.
There is, yeah. I mean, my first playthrough I was playing as a character called Wraith, or it's Rath.
Yeah, that's Wrath.
Yeah, and
Wrath.
Yeah, Wrath, and he's sword based, so he's melee combat, and it's awesome. He's like doing all sorts of funky shit. He's one of the main characters that they sort of pitched at in sort of the adverts beforehand. He's like
there was loads of little videos highlighting some of the characters.
Super stylized, really stylized.
So obviously it's got that kind of same thing like most sort of big RPG kind of MOBA things has, and you've got your different classes. So you've got like your running, getting in there.
Yep.
Sort of close combat guy. Then you've got your tanks, which soak up a lot of damage.
Big massive guy with a minigun.
He's the one that's there to take all of the shit.
Yep.
Whilst you can get in there and fucking hack at him. And then obviously you've got your healers and long range sort of based characters.
Yeah, I don't think it's sort of focused too much around buff characters who support your other players. I think it's more like fighting styles. So you've got characters who will be like cartwheeling through the air, firing off a bow and arrow and high power shots. Then you've got the ones who are sort of like one called Oscar Mike, who's your typical assault.
Yeah, he'll go in there and he'll take some shit, but he'll dish out a fair bit himself.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously everything's all very combat based, and you are there to be everyone. It's sort of interchangeable. You could be, whilst you're a long range sniper, let's say, but you can still get in there and amongst it if need be.
Yeah, and I really like what they've done with the design of the characters. Some really interesting designs.
I was going to say, I've seen some, like there's like is it like a young girl or small child that's got this weird like sort of entity that follows it round.
Yeah, there's all sorts. You've got one which is there's a chick who's got like 4 arms, who's a bit sort of all masked up, and obviously something horribly wrong with her or wherever she comes from. You've got some like a great he's kind of like a English gent-esque robot who's got like a walking stick / sniper rifle, which at the end of it is also a handgun.
Nice.
So he sort of holds it sort of back, backwards, so it's going up his arm, and sort of fires it as a handgun, then flips it over for a sniper rifle. Yeah, so they've done some really sort of stylish designs.
It's got really good character design, and everyone's got sort of like a unique traits. And
you've got like some fungus guy who's like very like martial arty, like flicking like knives off the end of his fingers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, obviously that was going to be one of my other questions. Obviously, any standout characters, but you pretty much just covered that.
Yeah. Well, basically, what I'm here to do is preempt all of your questions.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah. Are you fucking looking at my sheet? Yeah. Doing the sneaky cheat there.
This is how I ruin your bed.
The only other last one, really. Obviously, I know there's only a couple of missions, single player missions on the beta. But is there any does there seem to be any variety? Or is it just pretty much here's the guy that you've got to kill at the end. Here's the enemies you've got to wade through. Have at it.
It is a bit like that, yeah. It is a bit like that.
Again, though, it's solid. It's solid gunplay, and you've got like with the characters. I think that's where they're going to really aim for, isn't it? Is the replayability, and you've got such a variety and different styles of characters that encourages you to play through these same things again and again. Really.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'll give them their dues over is that the levels are long enough. That it's not just work your way up to this boss, kill him, and you're done. It's get here, dick that guy, then move on to your next section. Yeah. So there's enough meat on the bone.
Lieutenants that you've got to go through first.
Yeah,
and
Jeff. Good old Jeff.
And Dave, and there's old Tim.
Yeah.
Don't forget Derek.
Yeah, but it's I would strongly encourage people to just try it. It's still on this weekend, I think.
I was going to say it's quite a long run on this one, isn't it?
Yeah, it was longer on the PlayStation because they got their
grubby little mitts.
Yeah,
and their brown envelopes of cash.
Dished up the cash. So moving on a little bit away from Battleborn right now, I know you're eagerly awaiting an email, aren't you?
Yes, obviously next weekend we've got Mirror's Edge Catalyst's closed beta. So obviously I found out that they were opening up sign-ups, I think it was a couple of months ago, because I texted you about it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
I had a shit fit because their fucking sign-up system was just...
Oh no, that was... what was the other one? Awful one that we played the other week. Homefront.
Oh god, that was... Yeah.
Yeah. Took you like 50 minutes to sign up to it, and it's just like, I spent less time playing the game than I did signing up for the beta.
Sure fucking did. And I will not be buying that game.
No. I'm sure the single player's great.
I don't give a shit.
But yeah, so obviously they were taking sign-ups for the closed beta. Obviously they're closed now, the sign-up option. But they're going to be running the beta next week, over the weekend. What
is it about this game which has got you so stoked about it?
I absolutely love the first one. I've been waiting for news of a sequel, obviously, ever since I'd finished it. I mean, it was disappointing in the story, like the levels themselves. I didn't feel that the game was long enough. It was too short a game. But then, when you discover the time trials, and that's when you see the real meat of the game. The game itself, the storyline was just something to do if you're bored, kind of thing. But here's the real meat of the game: is the time trials and using these environments and seeing how you can use your moveset to get around these environments. I mean, I absolutely loved the game. I loved the idea of a first-person shooter that didn't have any shooting.
Yeah.
And obviously they've taken it a bit further with this next one. Obviously there is no gunplay in it whatsoever. Like, you cannot pick up a gun at all. So, obviously they're doing the closed beta for it. There's going to be a few single-player bits. There's some side missions. And they've just basically expanded on what the first one was. Obviously there's been a bit of heat this week that it's been discovered that there's an XP, like, levelling up system. So you haven't got, like, the full suite of abilities that you had in the first one straight from the get-go, and everyone's kicking right off about it. It's hilarious. It's just like, seriously guys, just chill out.
You'll get it.
Just all it means is they're trying to make it a bit more of a sort of a Metroidvania-esque, where you can't access certain areas, because it's more open world this time round. I mean, I'm just really looking forward to it. I've been, like I say, waiting for it for ever since they announced it and showed off stuff at E3 last year. I was really pissed off when it got delayed. Obviously it was supposed to be out in February, it's been pushed back till May. So obviously it's only just over a month away now, so... But yeah, hopefully I get a little email from EA on Friday to tell me that I'm in. And then, gonna hopefully be playing that all next weekend.
Cool. Look forward to hearing about it.
The last EA beta I played was obviously Need for Speed, which is alright, but I got Forza Horizon 2, so I didn't need to worry about that. I was just like, it's not that good.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, I'd do drifting in that.
Right, a little bit of housekeeping now. B Button Towers is moving, isn't it?
Yes.
We are shifting locations, so we probably won't be in or on next week. We may get something together. It may come up. We're just going to keep you hanging. Then again, we might not.
Yeah, I'd probably bet on not. Really.
Yeah, it's not going to happen
unless like something magical happens and it all goes really smoothly. Which no. Yeah.
So although we won't be back next week, we will be the week after that. So keep your eyes and ears peeled. I don't know why people peel their ears or eyes, but do that for us. Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much it, really, isn't it?
That's it.
We've got the message out there that we're not going to be back next week. We should surprise everyone with midweek one.
Yeah.
Just, hi, we're here, but we're not actually talking about anything. We're just chatting shit.
Yeah.
Pretty much like normal ways.
Yeah. Standard as. Cool. So as always, folks, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Any final thoughts, Link?
Not really.
Yeah, there we go. So from Angry Link, it's...
I will bid you farewell.
And for me, it's... Look, we're coming back, alright? We're coming back. See you later, guys. Peace.